Okay, boys and girls, I'm doing this without a script. I've only done it about 10 times and I haven't been satisfied with any of them, so I'll try it one more time. Not a sponsor. I'm not getting paid by Dr. Pepper. Okay, I promised at one time I was going to put up a video on how to use a logic probe. Underneath here, there's a lot of wiring, breadboarded and alligator clips everywhere. I got a battery charger here and is running a circuit up in here. I got a fuse in it. I got a push button, and I think I got a good fuse in there. Oh well, no, I got a bad fuse in there. So I'll put a good fuse in here. We're going to start with a good fuse, just to show you what a good circuit should look like. Now, if you push a switch, see that light bulb lighting up there? That's a good sign. If we had a problem in this circuit, like a bad fuse, which I'm going to put back in here again, I'll put a bad fuse in here, and we come up here with either a voltmeter, which I'm not going to use, or our 12 volt test light, we can see that if we test this fuse, that we've got power on one side and no power on the other side. That doesn't tell us a whole bunch, except that the fuse is no good. What about the rest of the circuit? What's it like? What do we got going there? Well, we don't have the switch depressed, so I'm going to go ahead and depress the switch now by jumping this together. Now the switch is depressed. Go back here. That means that the circuit is capable of carrying current. We got power on one side again, and we still don't have power on the other side. Do we know if, in this case, that light bulb is any good? If this fuse is bad, we don't know. Suppose that light bulb isn't grounded. We don't know. If that was a motor, electric motor, or a circuit going back to the computer, does it go to ground, which is what most computers do. They ground the circuit. They don't usually send power out. They complete the ground. So the test light is not a safe thing to use typically on a computerized circuit. You can get yourself in trouble. You can smoke modules and computers long before the fuse will blow. So I'm going to bring out the logic probe now. And this is a little cumbersome because it's cold here and these wires are stiff. And this is a logic probe. Looks amazingly like our test light, except it's got some different type of circuitry in it. Let me get this reestablished over here. There we are. Now this logic probe, I'm going to turn this light out so you can see a little bit better in here. Now logic probe can detect power. You see that red light lighting up there? You see that red light? That's power. Hope you see that. Red light, power. And if we go to the side of the fuse that's no good, it turns green. So we got power on one side of the circuit, and we obviously have a ground on the other side of the circuit because the logic probe is turned green. So we know that our circuit is good all the way back through. Now, if we had a switch in the circuit of some sort of a dynamic device that could change the power flow to the device that operates, which in this case is a light bulb, could be a motor, could be going back to the computer, anything. If a switch was involved, we'd have power on one side, there's our red light, and we got nothing on the other side. So now what does the logic probe told us? There is no completed ground through that circuit on the other side of the fuse. So now we'll go ahead and put the good fuse in here. And the good fuse is going to tell us a little something different. Okay? First of all, we go in with our regular test light, a little 12 volt test light, and we touch it. We got power on one side of the fuse, and we got power on the other side of the fuse. Therefore, the fuse is good. What about the rest of the circuit? This does not know. But the logic probe will know we've got power to both sides. It sees both of them. And if we close a switch, which I'm going to do here by jumping this over with my alligator switch, alligator plugs, if we check one side, we got power, and we still got power. If the circuit's good, we know it goes to ground. If this didn't go to ground, it's because the switch is open, we still have power at the fuse. So now we got power at the fuse. We got a switch that's open. So we know this is just a regular fuse tester. Now it tested the fuse. Power, both sides. But if we had a bad fuse in there, or we wanted to test the circuit going back through the rest of the circuit, to the light bulb in this case, there it is, it's green. We got green. Can you see that? Green. We got a green light. There it is. Alright. Green is ground. That's the power of a logic probe. If you're down under a car and you don't know if you've got power coming down, say you're going to your fuel pump on your gas tank, bring your logic probe. You could bring your test light, but your logic probe is going to tell you more. It's going to tell you if you got power and if you got ground. Take the plug off the pump, and you can check the individual lugs. And if you should happen to hit something you shouldn't hit, this isn't going to damage anything. There's the power of the logic probe. If you get into a 5-volt circuit or a millivolt circuit, or a circuit that should never see power at all, it's a ground, you're not going to hurt it with this. So there you go. Simple tool, does an amazing job. It's different from this in some ways, and like this in some ways, but it won't hurt anything. Okay? So that's about it. If you have any questions, you can leave them at the bottom of this video, and please hit like. I'm not selling this stuff, but I like to know people are looking at this thing anyway. Alright? So thank you very much for your time and your consideration. See you later. Bye-bye.